So hello and welcome to the third episode of Our Bar. The idea of Our Bar is we get an industry leader, we get to know a little bit more about them, and have some fun at the same time. Today's guest is Mark Raimy from Welders Supply Company. Mark, how you doing this fine day?
George, I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. So hey, Mark, here's the thing. There's always rules to games, and we have some rules, okay? So what we're going to do today is we're going to ask you 5 random questions. Now, you can either decide to answer the question or you can pass. Now, for each question you do answer, though, we give $50 to charity. Now, at the end of this, we're going to ask you to relate a story that may have happened to you in the business career that may be of interest or funny to our listeners. So our charity today is the Morgan Center. The Morgan Center actually is a charity that works with children that are autistic and help them develop and work as they get older to be able to work as a group. It's a wonderful charity. Ironically, that same charity is who is for the last 20 plus years has assembled all the Roderman ring tags, full empty tags. At this point, they have actually got people that receive them. They do all the work assembling them, do all the packaging, and they actually have their own UPS account there that we have them ship them back out directly to customers. It's a very exciting and been very successful program there at the Morgan Center. Also, if anybody else would like to donate money to the Morgan Center, it is at morgancenter.org. Okay, so here's the thing. Are you ready?
George, I'm ready, and I just want to say I think that's a great format, that we get to have some fun, get some industry chat going, and also do it for a good charity. And, as long as we're on that note, I wanted to take this opportunity, as long as you're giving me the stage, to make sure that, we say thank you to all the responders out there. And we all kind of know who all gets the headlines, and it's very well deserved. All the medical workers, firemen, policemen, everybody and the like. But, everybody are first responders, and everybody in our industry certainly has held the call individually in their companies. And I really want to especially recognize and thank everybody at Welders Supply Company and my team for really executing flawlessly through a very difficult situation. And the thing that is great about it is that we've always put safety first in what we do, and shortly thereafter that the customer. And that type of culture certainly served us well in this environment. And, everybody's been doing that extremely well. And I'm very, very proud of them.
Great. I'm glad you brought that point up. Yes, all the people behind the scenes making all the things that happen to take care of us. So thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so are you ready? This is the first question.
I am ready.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to read it to you, and then oh man, this is going to be. I got a lot of questions around this one, but what was the last song you sang along to? The last song that you sang along to?
Well, that's that could cover a whole bunch of different musical genres, but I'm going to go with a Pink Floyd song called "Dogs."
Okay, it's called. What's it called?
It's called "Dogs." It's off the album "Animals."
Oh, well, Dogs. Yeah, off the album. Okay, that all makes sense. And this is what I want to know. Where were you when you sang that song, singing along? Were there people listening to you?
No, that's normally not it, because I really can't carry tunes. One of the things I'm horrible at. The song's an interesting song, and all Pink Floyd songs are interesting. And really, if you listen to it, it's not really so much about dogs as it is almost like a career path and how people conduct themselves and how you perceive things and do things differently when you're in the beginning of your career versus the middle of your career, and kind of how you conduct yourselves through those 2 phases, what effect that has at the end of your career. And it's really kind of a good, almost battle cry and grounding type song. It's a pretty popular song on Wall Street. There's some themes in there from Wall Street.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you what, I just listened to that song. I'm exhausted to think you have all those thoughts and know all that about that song. But again, where were you when you sang it?
You know what I do sometimes, like first thing in the morning when I wake up and have a cup of coffee and kind of look to plan out my day, sometimes I'll play it. So
okay.
It's usually a morning thing.
Okay. So you're ready?
That introspective, reflective time.
Okay. Here's the next one. Here we go.
And rest assured, George, it starts to get more rocking as the day goes on.
Yeah. Does the volume just go up? Goes up.
Yeah, everything goes up, whether I like it or not.
If you were given $5 million to open a small museum, what kind of museum would you create? So if you were given $5 million, that's quite a bit of money, to open a small museum, what kind of museum would you create? What kind of curator would you be?
Yeah, you know what? I think I would have to go with like the types of things that I collect, and I like to collect fishing gear. Mostly saltwater stuff.
Yeah.
So a pretty good collection of older things, and what I really like about that, and why that museum would be interesting to people who maybe even don't fish, is the thought and the design and the materials in that gear are really interesting. There's a lot of engineering involved in it, a lot of craftsmanship. And although the things have changed over time and the older things are really nice, a lot of the core elements of it stay the same. That's what I kind of really like about it. And, I think that's why I collect it, is because like ourselves as people, I mean, I think we change as we move along and get better, but, hopefully our core elements stay the same.
Are you saying right now you already have a small Mark museum of fishing rods and reels?
Yeah, I'm only at 3.5 million, so I got, I'm almost a little more than halfway there.
Okay. Okay. Well, we talked about something earlier here, but what is the most hated song? What is your most hated song, and why?
Yeah. So, hate is a pretty strong thing, and I had to use that as the only bucket. There's really only one song that would fit into that, and that's the Don McLean song, American Pie.
That's your one song you hate?
Yeah, and you know what? It's not that I don't enjoy long songs, because I do, but to me, it's just kind of long and sappy and nothing. It just doesn't.
Okay. Well, we know. So nobody wants to have a ringtone of that on their phone near you.
Nope. And the next pool party, that's on the do not play list.
Okay. If someone was to narrate your life, who would you want it to be the narrator? If someone was to narrate your life, your life's out there, and you got that over voice coming in, who would you want to be the narrator?
You know what? That's kind of easy for me to answer because, I think I would go with Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. And
just the texture and quality of his voice is pretty amazing. And he does a lot of narrative stuff and other things. But if you ever saw that movie, The Shawshank Redemption, he does a lot of narrative parts in that as well as acting in it.
Right.
And
so we know you can't sing. You've already said you're not a very good singer. Are you a good impersonator for Morgan Freeman's voice? Can you do one of those?
Probably not. No, I'm not. Probably no.
Well, it is the R bar. I mean, you could always try.
Yeah, you could. It's early in the night at the R bar, though. Maybe in a couple hours.
Okay. What is the weirdest thing you've ever bought on Amazon? The weirdest thing you've ever bought on Amazon. Of course, we're assuming you bought something on Amazon.
That's true. Right. And you know what? My consumer transactions are pretty banal, and even on Amazon. But I did buy a ping pong table.
You bought it? Well, that's some serious Amazon buying, a ping pong table.
Yeah, it was. It was a little adventure because I was kind of curious how it went. It actually went flawlessly. And funny thing was, it was a birthday present for my son Jack, who was turning 13, and that's a great gift.
Yeah.
And his birthday was April 5th. Was kind of squarely in the middle of this situation, and trying to source that type of stuff, get that going is a little strange. So the Target delivery date got a little weird. So I actually ended up ordering 2 ping pong tables, one someplace else, to try to ensure an on-time delivery. And both of them were going to be post-birthday by a couple days, but the other one showed up first. So I ended up returning the Amazon ping pong table.
Yeah. Okay. So is he good at ping pong now?
Yeah, he's good at ping pong. It gets a lot of workout, and so I made sure that I bought the outdoor version of it and the super outdoor version of it, because he's a 13-year-old boy and a true 13-year-old boy, so he never puts anything away.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good point.
Outside overnight quite a bit.
So even with snow outside, you can go outside and play ping pong, but that's hard to keep track of your ping pong ball if it gets in the snow.
Right. And so as I kind of got into more of the ping pong purchasing, you know, the paddles and everything like that, apparently there is an orange ping pong ball that's fairly popular.
Oh. Okay.
So I have 100 and probably at this point 78 now because they lose them, step on them, you know, kids.
Yeah.
Orange.
So you're a problem solver. You got orange ping pong balls to find in the snow.
Yep, and it is eerie, so, you know, snow, you know, at the end of April, beginning of May is not out of the question, and I think we probably had 4 or 5 days of snow in May. So
wow.
It was good foresight.
Yeah. Okay, if you could be any celebrity, who would it be and why? Any celebrity.
Wow.
Yeah, a little Sean Connery going on there with that beard you've been growing and all that.
Yeah, you know what? I could go for a 007 character because that pretty much covers all the bases of anything a guy would want to be.
Yeah.
But you know what? In that kind of same trend, I think I'm going to go with more of a contemporary guy, and I'm going to go with Elon Musk.
Oh, wow. There you go.
And it's interesting because, you know, he's, you know, certainly a businessman and a brilliant guy, which the two things I aspire to and still, you know, a work in progress, obviously. But, you know, he's kind of like crossed over to the realm of being a celebrity.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. And, you know, I think, you know, one of the big reasons why I would want to be him is that he certainly has his own view of doing things. And he sources the ability to do those things. And then he does them.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's refreshing in today's world.
Yeah.
And
okay.
I think his results show.
Okay, wow. You know, as a stock market guy, because your previous life was a stock market, that high pressure, amazing speed in which things happen in the stock market. What is the best investment you ever made on the stock market? The best investment you ever made on the stock market?
Yep, that's pretty easy for me to say. So back in 1997, there was a major crash or mini crash in the stock market, and the stock market was down quite a bit, and I bought American Airlines under $2.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's kind of a funny way it happened is, you know, when you're working on the institutional trading desk, you're restricted on buying individual stocks. And it's very difficult to do because you have to have clearance, and there can't be a buy or sell order in the stock for 3 or 4 days. And the volume of stuff that we did, it's almost impossible. So you kind of have to put an order in, and then, you know, when there's a window of opportunity, it could only be 10 or 15 minutes. It just gets executed. There's not a lot of time to think. And so I was thinking about it, looking at it, and I'm like, this is a little bit of a reach. And I put it in and was thinking about it, thinking that, you know, I'm going to cancel this and have time to cancel it because I probably shouldn't do it. And then also thinking that it's probably never going to happen. And then it happened. And it was too late, but it did work out.
Yeah. And so do you fly American Airlines now, or do you fly a different?
I do fly American Airlines, and you're living in the area. There's 3. There's Delta. I guess there's only 2 now, Delta and American. So it's one of the 2. So it's American a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is going to be a hard one here because, you know, it's a little bit, you got to dig deep in this one here. What do you think you are much better at than you actually are? What do you think you're much better at than you actually are? We won't talk about ping pong, but, you know, what do you think you're much better at than you actually are?
It could be ping pong. But, you know, we kind of touched on this earlier, and I would have to say singing. And to really, truly answer the question, it's not that I think that I'm very good at singing at all, but I'm sure whatever I think of it, it is actually much worse than that.
Okay. You know, you haven't done any passes. You've done no passes. Boy, we're putting a lot of money here for the charities. So that's great. Okay.
All right. I love that.
Oh, hey, what is your cure for hiccups?
Wow.
Now you can act one because, but just you know, you can act this out too if you want to. You know, if it has a whole.
I could do. Yeah, I could do it now, but the camera would probably fly across the room. I don't know if it's safe. You know what? Because I occasionally do get hiccups. You know, maybe even more than other people, and I've certainly tried all those different things, and have come to the conclusion that there really is no cure for hiccups. And I think my cure for hiccups is just to kind of put it in the back of my mind and forget about it. And then it usually seems, before I know it, I just realize I haven't hiccuped in a while and it's gone.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's one of those types of things that the more you pay attention to it, the more it happens.
Yeah, a lot of people say you got to bite your lip or pinch your lip and hop on one foot and do all kinds of different things, or scare somebody, all that. So okay, so you just weigh it out, is what you said.
Yeah,
you just weigh it out. Okay. Hey, Mark. If you could talk, if an animal could talk, which animal do you think would be the most annoying, and why? So if an animal could talk, which animal do you think would be most annoying?
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's pretty easy for me. Although I am a dog lover, it would be any small dog, I think.
Any small dog, okay. And
any
why
small
is
dog, because based on the bark, I can't imagine the talk would be any different.
Yeah. So, okay. So it's a small dog. Okay. And here's, man, can you believe that we're down to the last question. This is the last question. What outdoor activity haven't you tried, but you would really like to? What outdoor? Now, I know you've done surfing because I watched you in Boca Raton in that wave pool in a suit. A lot of people don't know that, but you had a whole suit on to get the message across to Gata. So that was quite a surfing. But what is your outdoor activity you haven't tried, but you would like to?
Yep, George. And so, from that experience, I'm adventurous and I'm willing to try things.
Yeah, you are.
And, willing to put myself out there because although we captured some beautiful footage, the footage leading up to that wasn't so pretty, right?
Yeah.
Remember, yeah. So, yeah. You know what? I think it would be rock climbing.
Oh, you've never rock climbed?
Not, really to any serious degree. And I think why I like that is that, it's a physical thing. I also have a little bit of a fear of heights, which would be, interesting, I think, to kind of engage that. And what I like about it, it's as much of a physical thing you can prepare for, but I think that the mental part of it is as important. And it really speaks to confidence.
Yeah.
And I think all those things are really good pursuits. And, I'm sure a lot of times it's going to be more than thrilling.
Yeah. Okay. So we are now at the point that we're going to ask you a question, or we can do a speed round. We're going to do a little speed round. You ready for this? This is going to be a speed round. Okay. And we're going to donate $10 for each one of these answers, but it's a speed round. So at the speed, you got to, knock them out. And what we're going to do is we're going to have you see how many Rodman products you can name off from Rodman Manufacturing. How many Rodman products you can name off in 15 seconds. Okay. Now we're going to give you the official start time. And so take a deep breath. Are you ready?
So George, before we get into this, we've talked about this before. How many SKUs do you guys have at Rodman?
We got a lot. We got I don't know, 1,300 page catalog of stuff. Yeah. So a lot.
Maybe the question should be name things that you don't have in there, right? But
yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay, you ready? Okay. Yeah. No. Okay, you got 50 seconds. Ray, Mark, go.
Okay, I'm going to start with my favorite, the Arctic Fox Microbulk. I'm going to start with liquid cylinders. I'm going to go with the empty full tags. I'm going to go with gauges. I'm going to go with washers. I'm going to go with hoses, regulators.
Oh, okay. We got to 8. We got to 8.
And you sell all those, right?
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So we got to 8. So that's $80. $80 more to the Morgan Center. So that's fantastic. Okay. So now we're in the final stretch. This is where you get to tell, the listeners a little story or situation that may have happened. So tell us an embarrassing or funny moment in business. We all sometimes have those things for sure happen. At the time, they may not be funny, but you look back later and they get a pretty good chuckle out of them. Tell us an aha moment, one of those moments in your life you said, you know what, I get it. This is a different direction path I'm going to go. It's a, kind of what, it doesn't have to be totally a life-changing event, but something that really, hit you. And if you go back in time, this is the third one you could go. If you go back in time and tell yourself one thing, if you went back in time and told yourself one thing, what would it be? Okay, so Mark, which one are you going to choose? 1, 2, or 3?
I think I'm going to choose to go back in time, George.
Oh, okay. Okay, let's go back in time. So Mark, give us your back in time story?
You know, I kind of thought about this a lot and developed a, you know, a saying or something I look for in people. And then it actually kind of fits into the aha moment as well. And the way I like to say it is, and this was told to me early in my career on Wall Street, is that I don't know is an okay answer. And if you think about that, you know, if you're early in your career and you don't, you know, experience is your experience, and you know that you don't have a lot of experience, you're nervous about that. And I think the natural tendency to do is try to answer things or talk through things that you really don't know.
Yeah.
And that became more transparent to the other person than it is to you at the time. And, you know, this, you know, guy, Michael Charles, who's a famous hedge fund guy, stopped me and said, you know, Mark, I don't know is an okay answer. And the thing that I found really interesting is that I developed and became more experienced. You get comfortable with yourself and you get in situations where you say, I don't know all the time. And, you know, you realize nobody knows everything all the time at the exact moment. And that's like, you know, something I look for in people in certain situations, whether I'm in a sales call, whether I'm interviewing somebody or whatever it is, for that quality, because it shows that they are comfortable with themselves and they realize that I don't know is an okay answer, and it doesn't show weakness or that you're not the best candidate or that you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's a great answer, because that's really the opportunity to grow and learn, right? Because then you can say, let me get with somebody that would know, and then that's how you learn for the next time. Yeah, so that's a great point. So you go back in time. So your point is you go back in time and let yourself know that a little earlier.
I would. And so that also speaks to, you know, following your gut and be confident in yourself. And that, you know, if you know the answer, say it. And if you don't, say you don't. And, you know, again, that can only really come with experience. But I wish I would have done that more. I wish I would have done that earlier. And that truly for me is a moment I can still remember right now. And that was an aha moment. You know, especially for me, that this person in that environment would stop the situation to tell me that.
Great.
And as that environment goes and those relationships type of go, that was the only time he said anything nice to me.
Yeah. Well, we are now at the end of the R bar. So I'm so happy you could join us today in the afternoon here, or late afternoon, I guess we'd say, almost evening time, cocktail time, maybe even. So it was great having you today, Mark. And I got to tell you, as always, I love listening to you talk and having your perspective, and you have an interesting view and as well as a deep thought on things. So thank you so much for your time today. And I appreciate all the folks that came on to our bar and listened. And thank you again. And we will be making a donation to the morgancenter.org. And have a great evening.
Thank you, George. Thanks for doing this for the industry and for charity.